Hi, Floyd. When you fought Ricky Hatton in 2007, there was an incredibly strong British traveling presence. There may be the same here with McGregor because of the support that he enjoys. What do you expect the atmosphere and the level of crowd support to be like on the night, and how do you think that will be divided between yourself and him?
Well, it really doesn't have anything to do with the crowd. It has something to do with the two competitors. It can be pro-McGregor. It could be pro-Mayweather, but it's all about excitement. The people it's all about giving everybody excitement. My fans as well as his fans. That's really what it's about. And even with the Ricky Hatton fight, I want to touch on the subject so everybody know that me and Ricky Hatton actually fought at 147, but we fought in 10-ounce gloves. So I just want to make sure everybody on the phone is aware of me and Ricky. When me and Ricky Hatton competed and fought against each other, we wore 10-ounce gloves, and we was 147 pounds.
On Conor's call yesterday, somebody said that you had fought almost every fight in your career with 8-ounce gloves and not 10. Is that true? How often have you used the 8-ounce gloves, and how often the 10-ounce gloves?
Well, when you're fighting it's how the weight classes go. From 147 all the way down in boxing weight classes, you fight in 8-ounce gloves. From 154 all the way to heavyweight, you fight in 10-ounce gloves. But at one particular time in boxing, there was a lot of head trauma and head injuries. At I think around 140 pounds, 147 pounds. So they had brought 10-ounce gloves in for the fighters to wear at 147 and 140. And then I think at 135 all the way down, they was letting fighters wear 8-ounce gloves. But then they went back. I guess they wasn't getting the blood, sweat, and tears they expected to get, so they had to go back to the guys wearing 8-ounce gloves at 147 all the way down.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Brian Graham of The Guardian.
Hey, Floyd. Maybe the one bigger story in America right now than this fight has to do with the protests this weekend in Charlottesville and the president's reaction to it. You're seeing athletes who never speak on political issues like LeBron James, and just today Kevin Durant really take a stand like you don't normally see. You're one of the few athletes in the world who's on that level, probably even bigger than like a LeBron James globally. I was just wondering how closely you followed what happened this weekend with the protests, and if you had any thoughts on it and the president's reaction to it.
Well, I've been honestly extremely busy, so I haven't really even been on social media or been watching TV. I've been extremely busy, training, working out, and actually just spending a lot of time with my daughter. But I've seen some things, and what's going on down in how you said Charlottesville?
Charlottesville, yeah, in Virginia.
Charlottesville. It's not cool. It's not cool at all. And like I always talk about, this world needs to be more of a positive place. And I didn't really hear what the president said. I've been so focused on this event. This event is so huge. I haven't really had time to focus on anything but this event.
All right, thanks, Floyd. Good luck.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Gareth Davies of Daily Telegraph. Mr. Davies, you have a question?
Operator, go to the next question. He'll get in queue if he wants to come back around.
Okay, great. Our next question is from Damon Martin, MMA Weekly.
Hey, Floyd, thanks for taking the time today. I was curious, it's been, a very short video, but I was curious if you saw the footage that was released of Conor's sparring session with Paulie Malignaggi and what you thought of that, even though it was only about 20 seconds.
I had a chance to see it, and my thoughts is, I think it was It was real interesting, but you know, a lot of rabbit punching, illegal rabbit punching behind the head. A lot of shots was illegal. A lot of grappling, a lot of wrestling, a lot of illegal shots. I mean, that's just my honest opinion. But you know, I think that I'm pretty sure the referee is going to be fair on both sides. I want the referee to be fair and treat both competitors, myself and Conor McGregor, treat us both, you know, be even and treat us fair. And I just want to have a good solid fight.
Did you believe that he got the knockdown on Paulie based on the video we saw?
I mean, last time I checked, some may call it a knockdown, some may not call it a knockdown. At the end of the day, it only counts once you get under the lights. That's just the gym. You know, we can't judge. We sitting here judging Paulie, a guy that's been retired and just, you know, commentating and traveling the world and not going to the gym at all. Just going in there with a guy who's just working out, an athlete, period, that's just working out just every day. And honestly, it shouldn't have even went 12 rounds with a young guy that's active.
And yesterday, Floyd, they announced the referee and the judges for the fight. Robert Byrd is a referee that's known for not interfering much in fights, using his voice more than actually stepping in and separating the fighters. I want to get your reaction on that assignment of the referee, and do you think that will play a part in the fight at all? Considering, you know, Conor, you know, we saw that video. He likes to clinch. He may be looking to rough you up. I mean, what do you think about the assignment that you got for the referee?
I truly believe the ref is going to do his job. The referee's job is to make sure the fighters that he's keeping the bout clean. And I want to, you know, we're going to have a hell of a fight. Like I said on numerous occasions, building up to this fight, I'm coming straight ahead. So he don't have nothing to worry about. And I look forward to following the Queensberry rules of boxing, and I'm pretty sure he looks forward to following the Queensberry rules of boxing. He had Joe Cortez in his training camp, which is a great thing. Even though he had Joe Cortez in his training camp, I still seen him being extremely dirty. But my job is not to worry about the referee. My job is to go out there and fight and let the referee do his job.
Yeah. Let me add on to that. We're very pleased with the selection of all the officials that we have for the entire card. For August 26th, with the referee included. Nevada Athletic Commission is the best commission out there, and they have the best officials in place, and we're very happy.
And last question, Floyd. The other big thing that came out yesterday, which you've kind of addressed, is the 8-ounce gloves. Obviously, you fought in 8-ounce gloves, but do you think that favors you or Conor more, the fact that they dropped the glove size down to 8 ounces, or how do you think that really affects the outcome of this fight?
I'm not really worried about the outcome. It's more worried about excitement. I understand he's used to fighting in 4-ounce gloves. If you go to my social media page, you'll see what I put out there to the world to see. You know, I said, you know, if you want to fight, and I want to make him feel comfortable as possible. I'm not going to have any excuses, and I don't want him to have any excuses.
Thanks, Floyd.
Our next question is coming from Morgan Campbell of Toronto Star.
Hey, this question is for Floyd. Floyd, what really curious about, now that you're 40, last time you fought you were 38, how has the process of training and recovery changed as you aged?
It's difficult. It's not really the same. But, I think with age comes wisdom. Knowing your body. When I was younger, and I talked about this media day, just knowing your body. You're young, it's fight. Never let the body recoup or rejuvenate. Whereas I'm older, so resting is very, 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 very important. So I work extremely hard still at the age of 40, but I'm letting the body rest a lot more. And that's why, you know, you guys seen on All Access, you seen I was taking yoga. I have a whole team, you know, that, you know, when I'm resting, they help me keep my body intact and in order.
Okay, so then, looking at your interview with Stephen A. Smith from the other week, you said, yeah, Conor's a lot younger. I'm slipping. I've lost a step. Like, how much do you really believe that, and how much are you saying that to generate interest in the fight from the standpoint that it seems more even if you can sell the idea that you've slipped?
Well, I'm just being honest. I don't think that I'm the same Floyd Mayweather that I was 21 years ago. Of course not. And I don't think that I'm the same Floyd Mayweather that I was 10 years ago. I'm not even the same Floyd Mayweather that I was 5 or 2 years ago. But I still said that I still have a high IQ in that ring. And I said, you know, experience-wise, it leans towards me. You know, just period. When most time when I go out there and compete against any fighter, experience will always lean towards me because I have, you know, I've been in the ring and been at such a high level for so long.
Okay, thank you, Floyd.
Thank you.
Our next question is from John Elligon of New York Times.
Hi, Floyd. Last year in that Fight Hype interview, you said when you were referring to McGregor, you were saying, quote, "They say he talk a lot of trash and people praise him for it, but when I did it, they say I'm cocky and arrogant, so biased. Like I said before, all I'm saying is this: I ain't racist at all, but I'm telling you, racism still exists." And I was curious, now that you've been through like this press tour and whatnot with McGregor, how do you feel fans, or maybe even others, maybe journalists or others in boxing, how do you feel that they treat you all differently, and do you believe race plays any role in that?
I know the phone kind of messed up. Said it. Hello?
I'm sorry. Did you hear the last part of the question?
It just like at the end, I didn't hear the end part. You said about the writers in the media.
Yeah, I was saying, now that you've been through like this press tour and everything with McGregor, how do you feel the fans, or maybe even others, maybe it be writers or other people in boxing, how do you feel that they treat you all differently, you and McGregor differently, and do you believe that race plays any role in that?
I mean, I don't, you know, I'm not going to even really touch on that anymore. I spoke on that, and I'm going to leave it where I left it at. You know, I spoke about that before. I'm going to let Leonard Ellaby kind of touch on that subject. Because, you know, he's just Leonard, go ahead and touch on that subject.
Yes, and as you know, the things that he was saying, it was, you know, the back and forth banter, you know, it's trash talk, you know, and I'm sure that whatever was left on the press tour, that's where it was at.
Yeah, and I guess
Floyd's focus is fighting next week and putting on a great performance for all the fans across the world. That's where we are at.
Yeah, and I guess I was referring to the comments not necessarily on the press tour, but the ones that he gave to Fight Hype last year, and I think it resonated with a lot of black folks who I talked to, in the sense that you spoke to really a double standard that I think a lot of black people in America feel. So I was just kind of curious if you saw that.
And there are double standards out there, but you know that goes on with anything. There's a high awareness out there that the public. There's a lot of things that goes on. You know, again. His focus is next Saturday and going on there and putting on an electrifying performance in front of his fans. That's where we're at.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Luke Reddy of BBC Sports.
Hi, Floyd. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Very good, thank you. A quick, we've been over to Dublin, to Ireland, to chat to some people who know Conor McGregor and have grown up with him, and a few of them have told us that you were one of his idols. He used to study videos of you, your pull counter and various punches. I wonder, when you've been stood with him, do you see anything of you in him when you've spoken and been a few feet away from each other?
I don't think there's no fighter that's combat sports, period. That's in combat sports right now that hasn't looked at a Floyd Mayweather video or study the Floyd Mayweather fight. I mean, at least I don't think so, because I think this is the Mayweather era, and I was so dominant in my era. So when a person has been so dominant in his era, I think other fighters are going to pay attention, or other mixed MMA fighters are going to pay attention, because they want to be at that same level, and they want to do the same thing. They want to dominate with ease.
Do you see anything in the character between you and him when you kind of interacting? Similarities at all?
I mean, not really. I mean, I mean, of course, I'm huge in boxing, but I'm huge in MMA also. You know, I'm huge in both. I'm saying my name is huge in MMA, but I made a crazy, I made a crazy name in the sport of boxing. But it's crazy that, I was working I've been working so hard throughout the years that I ended up having a big name in MMA also. So even though I never competed in the MMA, I'm still a big name in the MMA.
And Stephen Espinosa pointed to something earlier on. He said how you took a big risk early on in your career. Given the point you're both at now, who is taking the bigger risk here?
I truly believe I'm taking a bigger risk. I mean, but it's a big reward for both. But I'm taking a bigger risk. You know, I have the 49-0 record, and when a fighter has lost before, if he loses again, they say, "Oh, it's nothing. He lost before." But when a fighter has been dominating for 20-some years, never lost, everything is on the line. My legacy, my boxing record, everything is on the line.
Okay. Have you considered, like, when you say there's so much on the line, I mean, have you stopped at any point and kind of thought, wow, there is a whole lifetime's work here that I am putting out there, or do you kind of not let it enter your mind?
I just try to really try to focus on just being positive and just worry about going out there and doing what I do best. I try not to think about losing or taking an L. That's not really my focus. Every day, I tell myself I'm a winner. I was born to be a winner at life, not just in the ring, but I was born to be a winner. So whatever I do, I try to give it 100%, and I try to push myself to the limit. But like Stephen said, it's all about taking risks. And I wouldn't be where I'm at if I didn't take risks. So I don't mind putting the 49-0 record on the line. I don't mind, putting everything on the line, for this fight. I feel like it's worth it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, this is the last question, Floyd. One more and we're good to go. Operator, go ahead.
And that question comes from Salvador Rodriguez of ESPN Deportes.
Hello, Floyd. Good afternoon.
Hey, how you doing?
How important is for you make the 50 victory in your career, one more over the Rocky Marciano record?
I don't really try to focus on no other fighter, but I'm appreciative for every fighter, and that paved the way for me to be where I'm at. I always talk about I appreciate the legendary fighters, even though this is number 50. This is my 50th fight. That's not really my focus. My focus is to go out there and get the fans an exciting fight. Even though I know this is number 50, and we're constantly talking about Rocky Marciano, I just always like to let the fans and the people know Rocky Marciano is a legend. Rocky Marciano did it his way, and I just like to try to do it the Mayweather way.